students at Cleveland State University, and no doubt he will be talking about those new jobs numbers and trying to rebound from his flat debate performance on Wednesday night. This morning, we learned the jobless rate is at its lowest level since President Obama first took office. The new rate, 7.8%. That's a bigger than expected drop from 8.1% in August. 114,000 new jobs were added last month. Those new jobs numbers out today seem to be pretty good news for President Obama. But it's his opponents who are getting to the microphone first to cry foul. Joining me now, CNN contributor Maria Cardona. She leans left. She's a Democratic strategist and senior political consultant on the Rick Santorum presidential campaign, and Republican political consultant John Brabender. Welcome to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carol. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, too. So the jobs report, Maria, was not great. Only 114,000 jobs were added to the economy, but you have that psychological boost of the unemployment rate going down to 7.8%. So is the Obama camp doing the happy dance?
Well, they're not doing the happy dance, Carol, because the president is always the first one to say that even though we are headed in the right direction, and these numbers continue to prove that, we're now at the 31 straight months of private sector job creation. He says there's a lot more to do. He knows there's a lot more people out there that want jobs, that need jobs, and it is always a reason that he talks about for the policies that he's putting in place. We're going in the right direction. It's working, but we need more to do. It's important psychologically because it is now below 8%, and he's also now at a net job creation number for his term. It has taken away two important talking points from the Republicans in terms of the job numbers.
And John, I'll ask you this. Some conservatives are coming out and saying that these jobs numbers are skewed and something's been done to them and they're not accurate.
Well, one thing they are doing is they're taking out a sizable number of people who they say have given up looking for work. So we're not even going to count them. And so, unfortunately, what it is saying is that we're getting mediocre results. And in some sense, we're gaming the system to show that we're getting mediocre results. This is the slowest recovery after a recession in our country's history, and I think people expect more than that.
Do you think that people really pay close attention to the unemployment rate and the jobs numbers anyway, Maria?
Well, probably not as much as we do here, Carol, because we are the political and jobs numbers wonks that we are. But I do think that psychologically, when you clear those hurdles, it is important, especially because Republicans have used time and time again that they've said two things, that it's been over 8% for the 4 years that President Obama has been president, and that no president has ever been reelected with with an 8% or above jobless rate. So I think that in that sense, it's psychological because people hear it. It's now below 8%. So they say, oh, we're going in the right direction, and now it's maybe time to jump into the job market, and that was an important thing that we saw in these job numbers as well. More people are coming into the job market. That means more people are becoming optimistic about where we're going. Another very important point for the Obama administration.
So John, Maria's right in part because it's taken away an important talking point from the Romney campaign. He can no longer say that the president promised to get the unemployment rate under 8%. Now it's at 7.8%. Of course, we have one more jobs report to go, so who knows? So what can Mitt Romney do to, for lack of a better term, spin these numbers?
Well, I don't think it is spin these numbers. I think people see this and say, is that really the best that we can do? I think everybody is happy when we see any movement. But let's face it, unemployment is right under 8%. We aren't seeing, I mean, I believe 500,000 jobs in this report were part-time workers. People want jobs, and they want even more than jobs. They want careers, and they want hopes. Right now, they don't see that. They see a president who's doing nothing about jobs going overseas. They see a president who adds a small business tax at the time that they can least afford it. They see college graduates, almost half of them, coming out and can't find the jobs that they want based upon the degrees that they have. And so I think there is concerns when this president or this administration or their campaign thinks that we should be hopeful because of these type of numbers.
And Maria, I think John has a good point, because if I'm an unemployed person or an underemployed person, or I see my neighbor who's unemployed, that 7.8% figure, it's going to mean nothing to me.
Well, of course. And again, the president and the White House will be the first ones to say, we are not where we need to be. So let's make that very clear. They are not doing the happy dance, as you said. They are not having a victory lap here. But we are going in the right direction. And again, psychologically, we've already seen in polls that people are feeling a bit more optimistic about where we are. And the Republicans really need to be careful here. They are seeming as if they are talking down the economy. They are looking as if they are rooting for bad news because they think that will help Romney. And frankly, all of these conservative groups that are saying that these job numbers coming out of the Labor Department have been hampered with, that, Carol, is very dangerous ground for the Republicans to go on. And I think it smacks of desperation.
Okay, so John, I'd like you to respond to that. So to those conservatives who are saying these numbers are skewed, should they just tone it down?
I don't think it's that. I agree 100 with Maria said. She said, after 4 years of Obama, the White House is saying things aren't where they need to be. And what happens after 4 years of a president, if things aren't where they need to be, you fire that president.
John
Except
Brabender.
for where we're not needing to be is because of the Republican policies that were there before he was there. So
okay, we're going to have to wrap it up. Maria Cardona, John Brabender, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you,
for
Carol.
having us.
She's done late night. Now she's doing early mornings. Ann Romney's latest TV turn when we come back.
How do you make 70,000 trades a second?